Welcome to Black Stoic, where presence speaks louder than performance, where men learn to become unshakable. Today we explore one of the most underestimated forms of power: silence. The world trains you to react. Stoicism trains you not to. Most men talk to be seen. Most men defend themselves to be validated. Most men react because they fear being misunderstood. But here's the truth. A man who reacts is being controlled. A man who pauses is in control. The quiet man watches. The loud man performs. Quiet men win because they don't expose themselves. They allow others to reveal themselves first. You lose respect when you react instantly. You lose leverage when you rush to explain. You lose peace when you let emotion lead. The loudest man in the room looks powerful, but the quietest man is powerful because when you aren't moved, people realize they have no influence over you. That is unsettling and attractive. When you don't rush to explain, people start projecting meaning onto you. He must know something. Maybe he doesn't care. Why isn't he reacting? Your restraint forces others to sit with their own insecurity. Silence isn't empty. It is a mirror. Women test emotional stability. If you react too fast, you become unsafe to build with. When she is emotional, you don't match her. You don't explode. You don't chase validation. You stay grounded. Her emotion does not dictate your identity. If this is speaking to you, drop a comment that says controlled mind. That tells me you're one of the men who is building internal leadership, not external noise. Powerful men in business rarely talk first. They speak last. Why? Because reacting quickly reveals your fears, your priorities, your insecurities. Remaining silent forces the other person to reveal theirs. You learn more by not filling the space. Silence flips the negotiation around. Suddenly they start talking too much, and people who talk too much lose leverage. Silence is emotional fitness. It's not weakness. It is a pause. It is your nervous system saying, "Let me think before I bleed." Most men regret what they said, not what they stayed silent about. The disciplined man uses silence to prevent self-harm, luxury, status, validation. It all comes to powerful men. But silence decides which attention is allowed. Anyone can attract. Only the disciplined can select. Your value is not in who wants you, but in what you refuse. Here are 3 exercises to master silence. 1. Pause for 5 seconds before responding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll be shocked how much changes when impulse cools. 2. Instead of arguing, echo. Say, "I hear what you're saying." Then don't explain yourself. Watch how they reveal their real issue on their own. 3. Delay responses. Don't text back angry. Don't respond immediately. Reply when your emotions are calm, not loud. This alone can save relationships, deals, friendships, and your self-respect. If you talk constantly, nothing you say matters. When you speak selectively, every word hits like scripture. The silent man does not need to perform. His presence is a sermon. If you're still here, you already outlasted most men. Drop silent strength in the comments so I know you are still listening, still learning, still building without reacting. The world tells you to react. Stoicism teaches you to observe. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to explain every feeling. You don't need to validate your worth. Because you already know. The man who governs himself cannot be governed by others. Silence isn't ignoring. It is prioritizing. Control the moment. Control yourself. Silence is not withdrawal. It is awareness. It is you choosing not to let your nervous system hand the wheel to fear or ego. The greatest warriors, leaders, kings, always paused before they spoke. Because the pause is where intelligence enters the room. Anyone can react. Only the disciplined can wait. When you hold silence, you hold power. Let's go deeper. Think about the last time someone disrespected you. Did you defend yourself immediately? Did you raise your voice? Did you prove something? And did you feel weaker afterward? Because that's the trick. Reaction makes you believe you're strong when really it exposes your insecurity. The man who laughs, shrugs, or simply walks away is the one people remember. Not because he didn't care, but because he didn't need to care. That is a new level of masculinity. Let me give you a scenario. Your girl is upset. She says something sharp. Old you bites back, raises tone, gets heated. New you breathes. You say, I don't talk in chaos. When you calm down, we'll solve it. 10 seconds of silence later, she realizes you didn't take the bait. That is emotional leadership. Here's another scenario. A man challenges you publicly. Old you performs. You posture, you prove, you defend ego. New you allows silence to do the work. You say, I don't entertain disrespect. Have a good day. He looks foolish. You look sovereign. That is the difference. Let me take you into business. Imagine someone sends you a message trying to lowball you, rush you, pressure you, bait you. Old you replies instantly because you fear losing the opportunity. New you doesn't respond for hours or until the emotion cools. Your silence made them uncomfortable instead of you. That is leverage. Silence buys you. Clarity, positioning, mystery, dominance. Now listen closely. I want you to understand something most men never learn. Silence is a response. It communicates, I heard you, I considered you, and you weren't worthy of reaction. People respect what they can't read. That's why men with presence don't chase validation. They don't narrate their worth. They don't over-explain. Because truth doesn't need narration. It is lived, not spoken. I want you to practice something starting today. When someone raises their tone, you lower yours. When someone demands a reaction, you create delay. When someone disrespects you, you evaluate before responding. When someone wants attention, you don't feed it. Every pause is a rep in the gym of discipline. And the men who master silence become terrifying. Because you cannot manipulate a man who doesn't react. You cannot steer a man who is still. You cannot predict a man who observes. That is why silence is feared. Because people don't know what you think or what you're capable of. Let's build this deeper. Silence teaches you to listen before speaking. Think before deciding. Feel before reacting. Most failures in life come from saying too much too fast. Relationships ended, money lost, respect evaporated, opportunities destroyed, because you couldn't shut your mouth when you should have. But let me tell you something powerful. Silence isn't passive. It is strategic aggression. You are gathering information. You are watching patterns. You are letting others reveal themselves. When you finally speak, your words carry weight because they weren't impulsive. They were chosen. And when you master this, something beautiful happens. Your presence becomes loud without you ever raising your voice. People adjust when you enter the room. They speak differently around you. They measure their words, not because you demanded respect, but because you embodied it. That is Black Stoic energy. But listen, this path is not easy. Silence will test you. Your ego will scream, say something. Your pride will want to defend itself. Your fear will tell you you're losing control. You'll want to prove yourself, justify yourself, respond instantly. But that is the moment you must breathe. The storm inside you is not truth. It is conditioning. You were raised to react. You were trained to defend. You were rewarded for noise. But kings, leaders, warriors, they were forged in restraint. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, before replying, before arguing, before defending yourself, before explaining yourself, pause. Let silence do part of the work for you. Watch how people lean in. Watch how their energy shifts. Watch how your relationships change. Watch how your confidence rises. Because the man who cannot be provoked cannot be controlled. And the man who governs himself is a threat to every system that relies on emotional reaction. So choose silence, choose presence, choose discipline. Because true power does not announce itself. It enters, watches, and changes the environment without saying a word. But silence is not easy, not at first, because silence forces you to face the truth within you, the thoughts you bury, the pain you avoid, the fears you pretend don't exist. Noise distracts, reaction numbs, arguments hide insecurity. But silence exposes you to yourself. That is why most men run from it. A man who can sit with himself without distraction, without validation, without needing applause, is a dangerous man, because his peace does not depend on anyone else. Silence is where you meet the parts of you you've never disciplined: your jealousy, your ego, your fear of abandonment, your need for approval, your addiction to control. In silence, these voices come out. And that is why you grow. Because once you hear them, you can rule them. Let me teach you something vital. A calm man isn't naturally calm. He has simply seen his storms and chose not to live in them anymore. You're not born unshakable. You become unshakable by walking through chaos and choosing not to let it shape you. Understand something. Silence is where strategies are built. Noise is where mistakes are made. Kings don't respond immediately. They decide. They study the battlefield, the players, the motivations. Their silence is calculation. So let's make this practical. Because philosophy without practice is fantasy. Start with internal silence. 5 minutes a day. Phone away. No music. No scrolling. No stimulation. Just you and your mind. You will feel uncomfortable at first. That discomfort is your undisciplined self dying slowly. Then practice social silence. When you enter a room, don't rush to speak. Observe, listen, read energy. Watch how people reveal who they are without you needing to reveal who you are. Then practice emotional silence. When someone triggers you, pause, breathe, let the first wave pass. Then decide if it's even worth responding to. Most things are not. And if you do respond with intention, not impulse. This is the difference between men who ruin their lives and men who rule them. Let me give you another truth about silence. Some people will hate it because they can't manipulate what they can't predict. They can't read you. They can't guide you. They can't provoke you. Your silence forces people to confront their own insecurity, and some will resent you for it. But you do not lead for their comfort. You lead for your evolution. And the deeper you walk into silence, the more you'll notice something. Your energy becomes enough. Your presence communicates what words used to. When you walk into a room, people shift not because they fear you, but because they feel you. That is a level of masculinity you cannot fake. It is earned through calm, through restraint, through refusal to perform. So, hear me. Stop oversharing. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop reacting to bait. Stop responding to everything that disrespects you. Stop defending your worth. Your dignity doesn't live in external approval. It lives in internal regulation. There is a time to speak, and when you speak, your words should land with force because they came from stillness, not insecurity. But until then, choose the silence of discipline over the noise of validation. Because the man who says nothing but sees everything is feared more than the man who says everything but understands nothing. You are here because something in you seeks control, not of others, but of yourself. Let that become your identity. Silence is not the absence of voice. It is the presence of awareness. It is where you remember that your reactions are your responsibility. So walk into the world differently. Talk less. See more. Move slowly. Feel deeply, react rarely, decide intentionally, lead quietly, and watch what happens to your life. Respect grows, peace rises, opportunity finds you, and chaos loses its authority. Because silence is not passive, it is mastery. This is Black Stoic, where we don't just grow louder, we grow quieter, deeper, sharper, stronger. Where silence is not absence, it is authority.